Roll number 58.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please read the biodata.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon and very warm welcome, one and all. I, Dr. Pramod Javale Patil, feel proud to introduce today's afternoon session. Resource person and eminent personality, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Thorat, sir. Sir has presently working as a head Department of Environmental Science and Technology in School of Environmental and Earth Science, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Sir has completed his master and PhD in environmental science. Sir has 18 years of PG teaching experience. Sir working as a BOS member in environmental science. Uh, Sir has worked as a committee member of designing new syllabus of UG PG course in environmental science. Sir has expert uh, expertise in research area like environmental and biotechnology, environmental and pollution control technology and management, hydrobiology and limnology, environmental policy and legislation. Under his valuable guidance, 26 students completed master and MTech project and 9 students completed PhD degree. Sir has working subject expert in various university for PhD thesis evaluation. Sir has completed 2 UGC major research project and 2 ESR project has been completed in Municipal Corporation, Jalgaon. While he has working and one DST Sir project, Sir has published 4 books in reputed publishers and 44 paper presented in various national and international workshops, seminar and conferences. Sir has published 64 research papers in reputed national and international journals. Sir has awarded as an honorary member of the Research Board Advisory of the American Biographical Institute USA in 2008. And they also awarded member of IBC International Biographical Center, Cambridge, England in 2010. As well as Sir has delivered near about 13 invited talk as a resource person in refresher course, uh, conferences, seminar and workshops. Sir has worked in various academic bodies uh, as well as Sir has worked in life member of American Association of Advancement of Science, New York, referee of International Journal of Pakistan Scientific and Research Development. So, Sir is the member of MPSC Examination Panel, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. Sir is the member of Faculty of Science, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Sir is the referee of Springer Journal of Environmental Science. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Sir to enlighten us. Over to you, sir. Gaurav, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
कसं दिसतात आहे?
So good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
After
Good
a lunch, it is
afternoon,
very tough to just go for a particular lecture. But we are going for a quite interesting topic, and it is very much useful in your day-to-day life. That's why this is very important one. And first of all, before starting this lecture, I want to thank Professor Gandela sir for inviting me for this particular refresher course lecture, and HRD Ministry for giving me chance to deliver my lecture on role of societies in environmental issues. So, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, yes.
So just we'll start with it. As I have known that from various part of India, the participants are there, and that's why we will just speak only in English language. So that will be better to understand each and everyone. And that's why we're going to start with this, the role of societies in environmental issues. So it is not a new topic for environmental science students or a teacher. But the thing is that what is the present scenario regarding this matter that we have to know. And that's why this is have been just put before you that what is the role of society in environment and what is the role and how does society affects the environment and society for conservation of environment, what are the environmental issues and its impact on society, main role of society for main causes of environmental issues, and the major environmental problems and solutions. So these all topics will be discussed in this particular session. And that's why these are the first of all, we will start with our introduction. So in this introduction, as you have read out that first point, it is we live in a natural as well as a social world. So it is very much important to know about that particular world where we live in a very calm and quiet way, in a natural way. But nowadays, man-made activities have just came forward, and that's why these are the particular aspects which has been just we have to think over it. Second point of our discussion will be the development cannot be of only the rich, nor it means only high living standards. So today everybody wants to live in a high standard, but nobody is caring about the natural as well as social world which we are having or which has been given free of cost by the creator. So here the creator means who? That I or many of the people believes in God. So God. So God, God means what? So we are not talking about the one person or one particular idol, but the God is just generator, G for generator, O for operator, and D for destroyer, who operates the things, who generates the things, and who destroy the things. So this is the long form of God, and that is the nature what we have to just see. And that's why we have to just look after whatever the free has been given by this particular nature. As we say, it is a gift of nature which has been given to us, but how to sustain or how to live in that particular world, that is up to us. And that's why this point is very important. Then third one is that also not just this economic development. So only the economic development is happened or it has been progressed. So you are a very much a standard person. It doesn't mean like that. So that's why the word has been came forward, that sustainable development. मराठीत आपण त्याला शाश्वत विकास असं म्हणतो. सो सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट जगा आणि जगू द्या हे जे ब्रीतवाक्य आहे, लिव्ह अँड लेट लिव्ह. So this is the particular aspect that we have to just go through this particular slogan. Live and let live. Don't disturb anything. So that is the thing. But everybody is thinking our own standards, own economical way. Economical development means I have been progressed in all the things has been happened. This is the thinking of a common man. And that's why this is also an important aspect. Then fourth point is it has been a holistic approach. So holistic approach should be there. If it is like that, then only you will find these are the particular aspect which we can just look forward for the things. Here, some problems are there. That does development lead to environmental problems? So many of our gives answer yes. Why it is? Because the social aspect, development, and environment have a strong relation, which develops in aims and improving global economic and standard of living, yet leads to environmental degradation. Major factor is unsustainable resources use and unsustainable growth practices. So this is the particular aspect where we have to focus on. That is unsustainable resources and unsustainable growth practices. This is a major aspect. Today what we are going to discuss about the things. If you talk about the particular unsustainable to sustainable ecosystem, what is that? So this is the particular Norwegian Prime Minister of Director of World Health Organization says that meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So like that, the social aspect is very important, environment is very important, and economic aspect is very important. And in between, whatever it is going to be mixed up with this, all this social, environment, and economic aspects, there are equitable, sustainable. The sustainable approach has been came forward with this and viable one. So what is this sustainable approach? That suppose a biodiversity plays a vital role in maintaining the health and stability of environment. Some key roles of biodiversity are, first of all, first thing is that environment ecosystem services. So this ecosystem services is nothing but biodiversity ensures the proper functioning of ecosystem, providing essential services like air and water purification, soil formation, and climate regulations. So this is environmental services, what we have to just focus on. Second point is that in that particular area is food security. So it is also that the many crops and livestock rely on biodiversity to pollinate, pest control, and maintain soil fertility. So when we talk about a food security, dear participants, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear you. You
Ji,
are
sir,
audible,
ji.
but now
but your
PPT
screen
is
is
not visible to us now.
Problem in PPT, sir.
No, what happened? No, now our light has been gone now. That's why it's problem here. So meanwhile, it will come. So we will just start with.
I think, sir, I think today is net problem everywhere, sir.
Net problem is also there, and the thing is that some light problem is there in our university. That's why this is happening. Otherwise,
sir, ji.
it don't happen like that. Can you see my this screen now?
Okay,
Yes,
sir. Now
sir,
it's
yes.
visible now.
Okay.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So this is for unsustainable and to sustainable, what has to be. Then fourth point is soil conservation. So what is this soil conservation? That is the vegetation and tree roots hold soil in place, preventing erosion. So this is also an important factor for to know the biodiversity, which plays a vital role for maintaining the health and stability of environment. Then again, the next important aspect is of water cycle regulations. So this water cycle regulation is nothing but the forest and wetland regulate water flow, preventing floods and droughts. And that's why this is also included in the particular aspect, and that we have to just consider each and every point, then only you will know such type of will happen. Then a pest control, it is a very huge type of a problem. It is a beneficial organism control pest population, reducing a need for pesticides. And then the nutrient cycle comes, which is an ecosystem, what we say. So here the microorganism decomposes organic matter, recycling nutrients. So these are the essential matters which has to be. And then lastly, the cultural significance, that is, the biodiversity has a spiritual, aesthetic, and cultural values, which maintaining biodiversity is crucial for human well-being, economic stability, and environmental sustainability. So that's why before we start this particular lecture, this one should know about the biodiversity, which plays a vital role in maintaining the health and stability for environment. So how the biodiversity plays important role in environment? If the question is like that, then these are the particular answers: that ecosystem services, food security, climate change, soil conservation, water cycle, pest control, nutrient cycle, medicine, recreation and tourism, and cultural significance. So these are the particular points which has to be considered, and then only you will find the healthy environment or healthy ecosystem is going to be flourished. And if you are not considering any of this point into that particular matter, then what will happen? You think that this cycle is not going to be completed, which we called as a biocycle. So due to the human or man-made activities, this has been started, and today it has to be think by each and every scientist regarding this particular matter. So these are the aspects which, first of all, we have cleared here, that what is the biodiversity and how it plays important role in environment. So here it is like that. Then if you just see the current status of the area is, until now development has been human oriented. And what I think that we have touched greatest heights of scientific and technological development, and what cost? So here the question comes again, cost benefit analysis. So what is this cost? How it is benefited and it has been benefited. So cost benefit analysis in the form of whatever the person has to be seen, like that it is going to be like. And that's why this cost benefit analysis is an important aspect. One example I will give you for this cost benefit analysis is like that. Suppose an engineer have been asked to just take down the cost of a tree which is standing there. After cutting, what will be there? So in his mind, that will be there. What is a cutting cost? What type of a furniture is going to be prepared and how it is going to be sold? So cost and benefit. So that is going to be in the point of engineer. But when we talk about a environmentalist or ecosystem or ecologist fellow, then this cost benefit analysis comes around the particular natural aspects. So that is first of all tree. On tree, what type of a vermin, what type of a microorganisms, what type of a organisms are living, birds are living, and if they cut down this tree, then what will be the benefit and who will be having benefit? So every bird, living organism, living creature, vermin or microscopic organisms, these are going to be get disturbed. And that's why it has been mentioned here on what cost of environment it has to be done. So that's why in cost benefit analysis, when we talk about an environmentalist, we have to talk in the form of a what type of a vermin has been disturbed by us in the particular environment or particular plant or particular tree which has been there. So that's why this is very important. Then third point in this current status is that everyone talks and walks sustainability. So most of us now, I think 70, 75 participants are there. So everybody will talk in a very serious way that sustainability is very nice, where biodiversity has to be progressed, environment has to be clearance, and all the things has to be happen. Everything will talk in a sustainable way. शाश्वत विकासाने आपण बोलू. But what is happening? Whenever the work comes, whenever the ideas you have to elaborate, whenever you have to give some suggestions to this particular, whenever the government is just advertising some notice for that. So what are your new ideas regarding this particular aspect? Please send your remarks. That time nobody came forward. And that is only the format. Why? Everybody or everyone talks and walks about the sustainability, but nobody wants to work on the sustainability. It is not my work. It is the work of government. Like that, the firmly or in a very simple way, the peoples are saying or they are talking or discussing in each other things. So that's why we have to just have very serious about this. Everyone talks and walks sustainability for that. Then fourth point is that Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. It has been happened. Before that, the Stockholm Conference in 1972, it was there. And in this conference, it was only the discussion was what type of a conservation strategies in your own country has to be done. And what type of a conservation you have done regarding the environmental aspects. And when from Stockholm Conference 1972, as soon as that time Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, when she returned from this particular Stockholm, first law we have got, that was a Wildlife Act 1972. So this Wildlife Act is a particular offered by this particular Stockholm Conference, which has been happened in 1972. And after that, we have got a lot of laws that we will see afterwards. But the thing is that this is the particular first history that what type of steps has been taken by the Indian government to look after the environmental aspects. And this was the first. And second was then after 20 years, this Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, with a United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED, it has been just. And in that, the Agenda 21, this proposal has been came. And this was in a particular terms, which shows that in 1992, the UN Conference on Environment and Development was held in Rio de Janeiro, taking forward many themes prefigured at the UN Conference on the Human Environment held in Stockholm in 1972. So only it was on a prefigured, but the main agreement was Agenda 21, a 41 chapter document setting out priorities and practices for all economic and social sectors, how this should relate to the environment. And most probably the principles of sustainable form of development that encourage minimizing harm to the environment and human health were agreed in this particular conference, which was held in 1972. And the progress has not been good, as Agenda 21 was not a binding treaty on national or governments, and all are free to choose whether they adopt or ignore such principles. And that's why this, when they have not make a binding on the each and every country, and that's why nobody was serious about this particular Agenda 21. And that's why this Rio Summit was followed by some international success, including the signing of Convention of Biodiversity in 1995. So this was in a particular aspect. Then this was held in Kyoto Protocol in 1998, and the Stockholm Convention on Precedent Organic Pollutants in 2001. And after the 10 years, the Rio World Summit on Sustainable Development was then held in Johannesburg in 2002. Again, raising the profile of sustainability, but also failing to tie governments to clear action and timetables. Over time, the concept of sustainability has grown from an initial focus on environmental aspects to include first economic and then broader social and political dimensions. And that's why this Agenda 21 was also just a program which has been initiated. And today we see the most of the picture regarding the Agenda 21 or whatever the government is taking step on this particular aspect, whatever it is possible in Indian subcontinent, according to that, they are doing their best, or the whatever the policy makers are there for environment, they are just putting their efforts to just develop, to increase the forest, and whatever the programs they are running by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, according to that, they are getting the success in this particular areas. Here, if you just see the key aspect of sustainable development. So first point is intergenerational equity. It is for stop overuse, reduce impacts, then to maintain ecological balance, hand over a safe, healthy, and resourceful environment to our future generation. And intragenerational equity means what? To minimize gap within the nations, support economic growth of poorer countries, provide technical help. So these are the particular key aspect of sustainable development. And that's why in this sustainable development, we have to think over about a environmental or ecological factor, then economic factor, then social and political factors. So these are the particular gradients which, if you are not studied, then no use of talking about a sustainable development or what type of aspects are there in sustainable development, because these are the particular key notes or a key points which we can say it is an environmental and ecological aspect, economical aspects, and social and political aspects regarding the sustainable development. So if you go according to that particular aspect, you will see then the measures for sustainable development. So what are the measures for sustainable development? That using appropriate technology, concept of design with nature. So using appropriate technology means what? Live and let live. So this slogan we have to remember or remind to others whenever you talk about any of the technology, whenever the advanced technology, what we are going to just put before the people, before the community. So this using appropriate technology, concept of design with nature. So whatever the natural activities are there, without disturbance, if you are doing like that, then it is okay. Otherwise, it is not any problem what has to be done. And that's why this design with nature is very important. Then second point is 3R approaches. So what is this 3R approaches? Now it is 4R approaches is like that. But what I want to mention here is that reduce, reuse, recycle. These are the main gradients which minimization of resource use again and process to get new product from same material. So these are the 3R strategy, what we have to just think over if it has been happened, and if it is not, the technology has been not come before, then you have to see that whatever technology you have been developing, that should be designed with the nature. And that's why if it is not done, then what type of a remedial measures should be there? So these remedial measures are like that, 3R approaches. And after that, if you just third point, if you just see that promoting environmental awareness and education. So today also it is need of promoting environmental awareness and education. Why it is so? When a child goes in nursery, there also the environmental cleanness, body cleanness, according to that they have to be studied. They have to study on that particular aspect. So, and when with nature, in which nature he is living, for that, again, we want to aware about that particular environment. That is only the, what you call it, as surprising for us, that we have to just conduct lot of programs for promoting environmental awareness and education. And if you are awareing the people, whether the peoples are taking it seriously or not, that is also one of the question. And that's why this should be an a particularly compulsory one. And that's why in school level, college level, environmental study has been compulsory. It has been made so that people will know about the environmental study, not for environmental science. Environmental science is a big term. Environmental studies, what type of ecology we are having, what type of a particularly the society affect the environment, or what type of a transform of the environment and their habitat in living in the areas, and what type of a living standard should we have so that we will live in a very peaceful way into the environment. So that is most important here. And that's why this promoting environmental awareness and education, what has been mentioned here today also same thing. When I was a child, that time also I have heard this about the things, and today I am near about 50 years. Then also I am hearing about the promoting environmental awareness and education. Why it is so? Why the parents are not teaching the fellows or their pupils or their children that what type of awareness should be there? आजही आपण म्हणतो बघा तुम्ही, झाड एक तरी लावा, झाड 2 लावा, 4 लावा. It is made by compulsory by the municipal corporation or the particular Ministry of Environment and Forest. Why it is so? Why it is happening? Because nobody cares about the environment where we live, but we want to live in a very sophisticated way. So that is the only fact. And then if you talk about this resource utilization as per carrying capacity, so what is the carrying capacity of the area and how the resources are being utilizing? So utilization, because why this has been came forward? What is this problem? The problem is that population is the biggest problem regarding this resource utilization. And that's why the particular one conference regarding this particular aspect was there in Cairo. In that Cairo conference, it was a population conference, which they have just said that it has to be curtailed. The population has to be curtailed up to this and this year. But the thing is that today also, no population curtail, and day by day the population is increasing. Why this has been happened? Why? What are the particular aspects regarding this? This is a very serious problem what we have to study, and we have to just look for this particular aspect. Then next point was an improving quality of life, including social, cultural, and economic dimensions. Can anybody tell me about the improving quality of life means what? And it has been mentioned that including social, cultural, and economic dimensions. Now I think so 60, 70, 62 people are hearing me, but do you know about these things? Anybody can speak for this? What is this improving quality of life, including social, cultural, and economic dimensions? What do you think? What is an improving quality of life?
Sir, nowadays we need fresh air.
Yeah. That the COVID has just shown us that what type of a air we required. Okay. And that after that we have learned a lot of things. But improving quality of life means what? So here, this improving quality of life, including social, cultural, and economic. So all dimensions should be cleared, and it has to be designed with nature. We forget every time that design with nature is very important. So this is very important to just ask about this, using appropriate technology concept with design with nature. So with nature, if you are working with your living peacefully with a harmony with nature, then everything is possible. But if you are disturbing something, and improve, you say that you have been improved your quality of life. We have not improved it. So like that it is. And that's why this is very important to just, and it is very interesting one that we have to think in a very serious manner about what type of improvement we have done for our quality of life. And now in this next slide, what we have to just learn is that Indian scenario. Tremendous population and natural diversity makes planning sustainability all the more important but complex. Then National Council of Environmental Planning and Coordination set up in 1972. See, whatever regarding the environmental aspect, I want to just clear one thing here, that is whatever decisions has been taken in 1972 to 1980, it was taken very broad-minded. The fellows and the committee members were there. They were thinking in 2020, means 2020, 2030. This was an aspect they have put before, and according to that, they have planned. And that's why today also the National Council of Environment Planning and Coordination set up in 1972, and today also it is working like that for family reunification, family programs, and all the things is going on. And then this Ministry of Environment and Forest set up in 1985 has been formulated guidelines keeping in view of sustainable development. So sustainable development is not a new word for us. It has been started from 1972 when the Stockholm Conference was held in Stockholm, and that time this particular question was asked by some of the country fellows, that what is the sustainable development and how we can maintain in our own country. And that time we, as an Indian, we have just formulated one strict law that was in a 1972 law, Wildlife Act. And after, as soon as it has been just passed, after that we have passed this Water Prevention and Control Act 1974. So this has been came forward, but the thing is that nobody today also, many of the common peoples or many of the studied fellows also not knowing about this seriousness about this environmental laws. And they don't know if they can be punished by the chief warden officer who is related with this. You can go behind the bars for 5 days, 6 months, 2 months, like that. But the thing is that we are not caring about the things. Nobody is looking for that particular aspect, and that's why these problems has been arises. So I think that this, whatever the environmental legislations are there, this should be a part and parcel of a primary or a secondary school student from that. So that's where they will just know that what type of a rules regarding the environmental planning, environmental sustainable development, whatever the environmental laws are there, and how they are just important as per it is the Indian subcontinent is concerned. And that's why it is very important, I think. And that's why this Indian scenario has been given, that sustainable development is not a new, but sustainable development today also we are just having a huge cry on sustainable development, but we are not trying our best to just do something nice for Indian subcontinent or for our own colony, of our own area, of our own city, our own village. We're not talking about a sustainable development, everything like that. Only whenever the sustainable development word comes for, then we think this is the government work and government will work on this particular aspect. As we are just paying the tax, government has to just see regarding the sustainable development, what has to be done. But it is not like that. Today it has been the way, or the day has been came, that each and every person who is living in India and known as an Indian, they have to think over this sustainable development. And then only something is going to be come out very nicely from this particular area. And that's why this Indian scenario, I have put this mention, or I have just mentioned this slide here, that this is the need of today's, what we have to just go for. And then this is next slide is of social issues. What are the social issues? Social issues, why I have taken this different one, role of societies in environment, because this social issues is a problem for us. or it is a hurdle for us that we are not working in a proper way. We are not allowing nature to work in a proper way. And without disturbing nature, we cannot do anything. That's why these are the problems which has been came forward. So in that, first, if you just see the urban problems related to energy. So light has gone, light has came and all the things. So energy, whenever you suffer from something, you realize the thing. So that is the thing here. Here also same, urban problems are related to energy. Then second most important problem is of water, which has to be conserved. So conservation strategy, who has to do? Now the watershed management is there. So what type of watershed managements are there? When the water has to come, what suppose rainfall is going to be happening in a very huge way. How to trap that water? Each and every person has to realize regarding this matter and how to trap this water. And now the municipal corporation, if you want a completion report from municipal corporation to build a house, then also municipal corporation says that whether you have done roof harvesting or whatever the rain harvesting strategy you have done in your area or not, that is also thing. And that's why this water conservation strategy is not a responsibility of any of NGOs, any of government authority, but each and everyone who lives in India, we have to do this particular, or we have to just put your efforts to conserve the water. Third is very important again, that resettlement and rehabilitation issues. Resettlement and rehabilitation issues. Today also, if you just take example of Tehri Dam or a Sardar Sarovar, you will find the rehabilitation problem today also it is happening because nobody has got a lot of money or whatever they required for their bread and butter, to earn the bread and butter. They have not get that sufficient amount for the things. So they have just given their acres of land and now today they are not going to get that things. But it is not true. The government, whatever it has been planned according to that, they have given. But the thing is that now, day by day, the name in the list is going to be increased. And whenever their names are going to be included in that area, whoever has not sufferer also, they are also putting their name in that area. And that's why this problem has been came forward, that resettlement and rehabilitation, whoever is required, really required rehabilitation program, they also have not got the particular benefit from this resettlement areas. So these are the problems which has been came forward. So that's why each and every person's moral responsibility is that whatever the benefits, do not think over our own selves, but see about the others also, or whoever very much sufferer for that, he has to go or he has to just give that benefit. Then fourth point is that climate change, global warming, acid rain, ozone layer depletion, these are the problems which has been came forward. These are the social issues what we are just facing today. And a nuclear accident and Holocaust, these are the particular wasteland reclamation, waste product. Why this type of words has been came forward? Reclamation का भी need है, क्यों? Restoration का भी need है. Why? So why this restoration and reclamation follows as we came forward? Because huge type of pesticide we have just put on your farms. And when the rain comes, it flows into the water bodies, and water body also get disturbed from that particular areas. And that's why now we have to just think over about the restoration of the soil. Soil restoration is there. Soil reclamation is there. Then again, water filtration is there. The strategy now today, everybody is just drinking water or filter water they want to drink, because we just see that if you take a river water, clean river water flowing, then also we cannot drink that water. Why? Because we see that some of the microorganisms or which are not useful for our body, they can be get consumed and our body is going to be impacted from that. But the thing is that why and who has responsible for this particular aspect, that human being is only the responsible person who has just given this particular aspect. That's why we have to think very seriously on the nuclear accidents or whatever the waste land reclamation and the waste product what we are throwing into the environment, whether it is feasible to throw and whether it, if you are throwing, you say that it is finished from my side. But the thing is that when it goes into the environment, what type of a, again, the activities are going to be followed and what type of a chemical is going to be released and how it is impacted onto the water body. We doesn't know anything like that. And that's why unless and until we know the importance of this particular aspect, then we cannot do anything. And that's why this is very important to just look upon the reclamation strategies, what has been. Then in this social issues, if you just see the first point is what was a serious problem, what was an urban problems related to energy. What is this? Cities are the main centers of economic growth, trade, education, employment. Is correct? Now 50% of population lives in urban area. So more than 50% now lives in urban area. Difficult to accommodate, uncontrollable and unplanned growth, and densely populated consume more resources, need more energy. So these all problems of urban area related to energy has been came forward. For what reason? What is the reason? The main reason is a population. So population running towards the urban areas to live a sophisticated life, to come to the urban areas for earning bread and butter. So no jobs in the village areas and all the things. And that's why these are the problems which has been occurred. And if you just stop this rural peoples in their own villages, giving the jobs in that particular area to earn their bread and butter, they will not run to the urban sectors. And you will find that these problems will not come forward. These are urban problems and related to the energy. So that's why every time we say we need more energy. Why more energy? Because more population is going to be sustained on that particular aspects. And that's why it is very important to look after this particular aspect. And according to that, you have to give your own opinion. But the thing is that nobody is giving their opinion regarding this matter. And that's why these are the aspects which has been happening. Then the second point is that no, second point first point only in urban problems related to the energy. Here, second is that energy demanding activities. So unnecessarily, some of the demanding activities are happening into the areas, and that's why these are the aspects which has to be. So in that, first one is that residential and commercial lighting, malls, offices, hotels. So these are the particular areas where unnecessary some of the energy has to be wasted. If it is not wasted, then also nothing is going to be happen. And that's why this has to be looked after. If you are not looking after this particular aspect, then we can say that we are neglecting something. So what type of neglection is that? Then private and public transport. Then modern lifestyles, electronic gadgets, industries, waste disposal, prevention and control of pollution. So these all points regarding energy demanding activities. And what are the effects of that? The effects of that are unequal distribution of energy, power cuts and load shedding, demand energy from other states, overall society suffers, and economic development hampered. So these are the effect when we demand energy from residential, private sector, public transport, modern lifestyle, electronic gadgets, industries, waste disposal, prevention and control of pollution. So all this aspect, when we demand energy, that time the effects are going to be unequal distribution of energy, power cuts and load shedding. We are going to be suffer for that. And that as suffering is nothing but it are the effect. These are the effects of the particular what you have demanded. And that's why this is very important when we talk about this particular energy demand, that some type of disturbance is going to be happen. Demanding energy from other states, overall society suffers, economic development hampered. So these are all effects which we are suffering today also. So it is also a serious matter what we have to just look after, and we have to think over it. And the common man has to think over it. Only the environmental science I have studied and I have done the environmental science, and so it is my responsibility, or it is a responsibility of Ministry of Environment and Forest, or it is a responsibility of Maharashtra Pollution Control Board or Central Pollution Control Board. So it is not like that. It is a responsibility, as I have told earlier also, that it is the responsibility of each and every Indian citizen who lives here, who sustain her life in this environment. And that's why nothing to blame on others. Whatever we can do good for the aspect, that we have to do. And that is most important. Then second point is of water conservation. As we have just seen, that water conservation is a very big problem. What type of conservation strategies are there? Suppose a rain is coming in one day, full of rain is there, and from tomorrow, it is not going to be seen everywhere. And whatever it has been stored, it is okay. But what is not stored and it has been flow into the Arabian Sea or into the sea, what to do about that fresh water? So that is most important aspect. And that's why we say that water conservation strategy has to be maintained in each and every area where we live. And that's why this first point tells about the water is a vital resource, and the majority of water resources are polluted heavily. Why this polluted heavily? Because nobody cares about the pollution aspect. Nobody cares, or nobody has putting their concentration that throwing like anything, any type of a material, whether it may be organic matter, whether it is a inorganic matter, or whatever it may be, but after it has been no use for the human, use and throw like that, it has been to be put or dumped into the water bodies. And that's why this majority of water resources are polluted heavily. And its amount of limited for use, so conservation is extremely important. And water conservation refers to reducing the use of water and recycling of wastewater for different purposes, such as cleaning, manufacturing, and agricultural irrigation. That's why this water conservation strategies are very important. And if you have a question regarding this, what is the role of society conservation of environment? What will be there then? The answer is that, see, I will repeat the question here. What is the role of society conservation of environment? What is that? That is, conservation efforts can prevent habitat destruction, first. Second one is safeguard endangered species and maintain the delicate balance of ecosystem. By conserving natural resources, we can minimize environmental degradation, reduce pollution, and promote sustainable development. So here it is very big question what I have asked you, and very short answer I have given to you. That what is the role of society conservation of environment? So conservation efforts can prevent habitat destruction, safeguard endangered species, and maintain and delicate balance of ecosystem by conserving natural resources, by minimizing environmental degradation, by reducing pollution, and by promoting sustainable development. So sustainable development has to be promoted, and what type of sustainable development we are asking of, that should be mentioned. That's why it is very important for the areas. Okay. Then, if you talk about the actions, what are the actions what we have to take regarding this matter? That first one, some researchers have suggested that water conservation efforts should be primarily directed at farmers in light of the fact that crop irrigation account for 70% of the world freshwater use. Whether it is correct? Whether it is correct? Some researchers have suggested that water conservation efforts should be primarily directed at farmers in light of the fact that crop irrigation accounts for 70% of the world's freshwater use. Hello, participants, are you there? Because it is an interesting topic. Each and everybody should know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are fully attentive, sir.
How many of you are attentive? How many of you are attentive here? Because I don't see saying that the present is there. Okay. Who has given me the answer, sir?
Yes, sir. Believe. Sir, this is Jagdish Mahale. I am also student of enemy campus. Right now, I'm in Amravati.
Acha. Which subject, sir?
Language department, student of Shobha Shinde madam and Dr. Mukta Majan madam.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice to hear from you. But I think each and every participant has to just have the interest, because you have been bored from last 10, 15 days like that. Everybody is talking about the thing. But then here it is a very important aspect what we have to realize ourselves to know about this particular aspect. But the thing is that no response from your side. So that's why I also have not created any interest in myself to just give a lecture or deliver a lecture here.
Sir, some have said in chat box. So everyone is attentive, sir.
Okay. But it is not a one-way traffic what has to be gone. It has to be two-way traffic. So if you just have some suggestions, have some particular questions, you can ask between also, so that I can just clarify it in every aspect. Because today is not only to give the lecture. It is not a motto of giving lecture only. It is the motto of understanding the lecture and implement in your own way, in your own style, in the environment. And that's why it is very important. Anyway, we will just proceed. So next action is that a drip irrigation instead of sprinkle irrigation. So drip irrigation is also just, it has been just now, it has been aware, and some subsidies also has been given by the government, and it is working in that, but it is not working in a lot way what is required. Because if you go for a drip irrigation instead of sprinkle irrigation, you will find whatever the water loss is going to be happen, it will not, and some type of a control to the conservation of water, it will be there. And whatever the productivity which is going to be getting from the farms, which will be in a very huge way. Because unnecessarily, whenever the water is not required by the plants, then also we just give that water to the plant, and what happen, it give the result in the form of a particular less productivity from the plant. And that is the reason why we cannot go for the things. Then if you see, the common strategy includes public outreach campaigns, tied water rates, charging progressive higher prices as water uses increases, or restrictions on outdoor water use, such as lawn watering and car washings. So these are the particular aspects what we have to just look for the things. And the thing is that whatever the common strategies we are including in our day-to-day life, we have to be very serious. And I think that nobody is serious regarding this particular issue, what we are talking today. And that's why we are facing a lot of problems, and whatever the action has to be taken, what type of impact has been happened, what type of effects has been happened, what type of a problem has been arises, each and everything we are just murmuring and talking about the aspect. But it is not so. You have to just look after the particular aspect so that the actions will not come, effects will not come, impacts will not come, and you will live a peaceful, life with peaceful harmony with nature. So harmony with nature means live and let live. So this is the particular slogan which we have to just look forward. Then hundreds of the way to conserve water. Why this hundreds of way has to find out to conserve the water? What are the actions has been drawn from us? What type of a particularly people or a man has done wrong thing that we want to know about a hundreds of way to conserve water? That is also a question mark. If you don't pollute the rivers, this hundreds of way of conserve water will not arises. See, in other countries, if you go, you will find the rivers are very clean. In Indian subcontinent, we see that each and every river is polluted. Why? Because due to the idols we are just putting into the water, due to the only whatever the organic flowers we are putting into the water, whatever puja material is there, we have just done in our homes, we just take that all material and put into the rivers, whether it is feasible, or not, or if it is feasible, then these problems will come, that hundreds of ways to conserve the water. And if it's not feasible, if you just discard it, which will, or it is disposed in a very soft or whatever the municipal way, if you dispose, this hundreds ways of conserve water will not be a question for Indian subcontinent. But as a spiritual life and as the particular, we say that that is a culture of us and all the things, and that's why we are facing the problems. This culture was very much effective when the population was in controlled way. Today, huge problem of population is there, and huge type of organic material you are dumping into the rivers, and that's why the situation has been came that hundreds of ways to conserve water. See, it is very serious one. The hundreds of ways, why it requires? How does this society affect the environment? These questions come from this particular hundreds ways of conserve water. How does society affects the environment? Kashi karte? So I will give the answer for that. That humans impact the physical environment in many ways. That is, first one is overpopulation, pollution, then burning of the fossil fuels, and deforestation. So these are the particular major causes. And who does this man-made activities are there? Overpopulation is there, pollution is there, burning fossil fuels is there, and deforestation. And when this all are gathered together, the society affects in the form of environment. And changes like this have triggered climate change, soil erosion, poor air quality, and undrinkable water. I have questioned you first, that was, how does society affects the environment? So answer was very simple for that, and each and every teacher has to be known this answer to give to your students. And it is a common question. It is not for a subject of environmental science, subject of biochemistry, life science, language studies, or commerce, or any of the subject. It is a common question for each and everyone. That is, how does society affect the environment? How it affects? Again, I will repeat it. Humans impact on physical environment first. In many ways. What type of ways there are? Overpopulation is there, pollution is there, burning for fossil fuels and lot of deforestation. And these all things when came together, gathered together, activity has been happened by the public participation or a public by the common man, unknowingly or unknowingly, then changes like this have triggered climate change. Climate change problem has been came forward from this only. Second one is soil erosion problem has been came forward. Then poor air quality. As first only I have just told you that air quality, we have realized the importance of air when in Corona, what has been happened. So poor air quality and undrinkable water. So these are the particular questions answer that what is the role of society conservation in environment. So one should have to know about this particular aspect. Only to take the action and do these things and that things it will not do. Or whatever the big words we are utilizing for lectures and all the things it will not do. But whatever the practical work what we are going to do, that will impact. That will show the results. Not for giving a lectures on big aspects and big words we are just speaking about. But the thing is that we have to maintain and delegate balance of ecosystem to the society conservation of environment. And that's why this, whatever the 100% of ways to conserve the water, it has been arises. That's why I have given you such a big one lecture on that hundreds of ways to conserve water. I am not just what you call as an, I am not agree with this particular hundreds ways to conserve water. Why it is needed? That is my question. And that's why this is very important to know about the things. Then if you talk about these are the common aspect which we have studied in first standard, second standard, third standard, like that. These are the common student that yes or no, water we have to sprinkle or not, water used in yards, mulch. Again, we have to talk in this particular area where we are about near about 25 years and 20 to up to 50 years, like that we are the students. And then also we have to just talk about these simple and silly things, what we just do in our day-to-day life. And that's why, again, we have to just say, use plants that require less water, use the low flow shower head, wash only full loads, turn off sinks. So these are the common ways, common environment, day-to-day activities, what we do daily. And that's why we have to look after or we have to think over this particular picture. And I think it is not feasible here to just show this particular slide because it is taught in our first, second standard only. But the thing is that today is a need because people are not very serious about the water, what they are spoiling. And that's why this came out of the things. In that what I have a question about this is that what are the environmental issues and its impact on society? What are the environmental issues, what we think? See, I will just show you that what are the environmental issues and its impact on the society, that pollutants in the environment or climate related events can have a massive impact on our health. And in that, if you know about the aspect, then air and noise pollution, heavy metals like mercury are directly related to health issues like asthma, hearing loss, dehydration, and heart diseases. So that's why we have to just focus our point on the environmental issues and impact on society. So what impacts? Everything comes around the body of human being only. And that's why we have to just look after very seriously regarding the air and noise pollution, heavy metals like mercury or heavy metals, any of the heavy metals, which are directly related with the health issues, which causes asthma, hearing loss, then heart diseases and dehydration. So these are very much related with our own body. So we, for our body itself, if you just do these same things, you are saving the environmental aspects, or you are just calm down the environmental issues, what is has been happened. So that's why it is very important. Then if you just talk about this particular picture, here harvest rain water from roof. Now municipal corporation has make it compulsory that if you are not harvesting rainwater from roof and just putting into the tubules, then you are not going to get a completion certificate or completion report of a house from the municipal corporation. So this rule has to be binded. Why common people has not think over the things that we have to harvest the water? And that's why, again, we have just talked, we have one question on this, that is, what is the main role of society then? What is the main role of society here? The main role of society is to provide a framework for people to come together, form communities, and establish system that regulate social interactions, such as laws and social norms. It encompasses various aspects of human life, including cultural practices, economic systems, and political arrangements. So this is the particular main role of society should be there. If it is done by the common man, whatever we have heard up to now, it is not compulsory for each and everyone. If we, society provides a framework for people to come together, first of all. First of all, come together is a difficult task. Each and everybody shows his cleverity and he is not agree with other particular fellow. In their home also they are not agree, and in the particular, in the friends also they are not agree. So this is the particular first point it has to be. Just keep in mind that provides a framework for people to come together, form communities, and establish system that regulate social interactions, such as laws and social norms, and it encompasses various aspects of human life, including cultural practices, economic systems, and political arrangements. So these all things has to be considered, then only I think we Indian fellows are going to be called as an improvised, or what you call as an so-called as an a living standard, which will be increased. Today, whether you are living in a very nice bungalow or nice house, or we are having a standing car before your bungalow and all the things, it is not your lifestyle. The lifestyle is that when you provide a people to come together and to establish some system for social interactions, and then the including cultural practices, which economic systems and political arrangements, what we have done in that particular area. And here in this picture, what has been the simple aspect has been shown. Whatever water has been just trapped here, it has been came by this particular pipe. It has been in a rain barrel. It has been put here. From this, it goes to in the crystal stores in rainwater, and then after that, it has been purified and it has been gone into the particular ground. So leaching into the ground, and whatever the water table is there, it is going to be increased. And that is the thing here, what has been given. And so what we are going to do in very small factor, that we are conserving the water. So this is also a today's need, what we are looking for. Then next slide, what you just see that here, the rainwater harvesting. What type of introduction? Already I have just discussed on the rainwater harvesting. So no, we will not go in a very deep form here, but just I will read out that the urban areas, the construction of houses, footpaths and roads has left little exposed earth for water and soaked it. Then in parts of Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay. So we will continue with the rainwater harvesting. This has been become a very popular method for conserving water, especially in the urban areas. And rainwater harvesting essential means collecting rainwater on the roofs of building and storing in underground for later use. Not only does this recharging arrest groundwater depletion, it also raises the decline water table and can help augment for water supply. So this question has been came and this answer has been came because the thing is that whatever the proper water utilization we have not done. And that's why this aspect has been came forward. And that's why we have to just look after this particular areas where from this particular slide it comes that what are the main causes of environmental issues then that some issues are suppose some human activities that cause damage either directly or indirectly to the environment on the global scale. What is that? That is population growth, neoliberal economic policy, and rapid economic growth, overconsumption, overexploitation, population, and deforestation. So these are the particular gradients which is very much responsible. What are the causes of environmental issues? The population growth I have discussed before only. Then numerable economic policies. So policies what has been prepared. Rapid economic growth. For rapid economic growth, everything we have forgotten about the environment. And that's why we are not putting a concentration on environment as well as a economy. But we are just running behind the economy only. And that's why this problem has been arise. And overconsumption, overexploitation, mil raha hai to le lo. So that is overexploitation. Then population, pollution, and deforestation. So deforestation, now it is required by the human beings, lot of requirement of a furniture from the humans, then the people are going to the forest, cutting the trees, deforesting the trees, and then it is going to be a very big problem which is going to become forward. That's why it should not happen. And I think in the form of a rainwater harvesting, essential means collecting rainwater on the roof of the building, as we have seen in the last picture, and storing it underground for later use. Not only does this recharging arrest groundwater depletion, it also raises the declining water table and can help augment water supply. So these are and then if you talk about the status. So what are the status of the town plans? So that is the town planners and civic authorities in many cities in India are making rainwater harvesting compulsory. So now it is just make compulsory for each and every city here in India. And no water or sewerage connection would be given if a new building did not have provision for rainwater harvesting. And third point is a number of government buildings have been asked to go in for water harvesting in Delhi and other cities. So rainwater harvesting is a today's need because a lot of exploitation is there, and that's why this is very much important. And this is the process what has to be done. Actually, this is process which is to be done. Then you will find that rainwater can be harvested in a proper channel, proper way. The filter water flowing under the gravity fields the collection, and the house requires water pressure shows, and then this all this pipe and all this has been connected, and rainwater collection tank is there. And when it is going to be stored in that particular area, then after that it is going to be leached into the groundwater, and you will find that major groundwater has been increased in the area. And when you talk about this
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
Yes, now it is coming.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where were we?
Now it's slide number 20, case study.
Sir, case
Yeah.
study.
Yes, yes. Case study. Are you having interest in this lecture or not?
Sir,
We are enjoying, sir.
Yes, very nice. Nice to hear about the things that you are enjoying the lecture.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Just we will start our business here again. So the case study, what has been there is that the area surrounding the river. So see that these are the,
Continue, sir.
yes, yes, yes. Some disturbance was there, no? That's why. The
Yes, yes.
water level in the river began declining due to the extensive deforestation and agricultural activities along with the banks, and by the 1980s, drought-like situation began to spread here. So nowadays, what happens this time, lot of run was there in Maharashtra, and I think the scarcity of water was there in Maharashtra, which has been now somehow the problem has been solved. But the thing is that if this condition should not come, that's why we have to just think over this particular aspects. घे तुझ्याकडे बघ त्याच्यात दिसेल. So next slide, we will just go for. This is the revival of the river has transferred the ecology of the place and the lives of the people living along with its bank. Their relationship with their natural environment has been strengthened here. And that's why if you just have one question on this particular aspect, that is, what are the 5 major environmental problems and solutions, what we have to just look for. And that in that question's answer, what we have to just give is that the major 5 environmental problems and solutions. First of all, it is a very seriously we have to think over about the climate change. Second one of pollution. Third one about habitat destruction. Fourth one, deforestation. And fifth one, loss of biodiversity. So loss of biodiversity is very important aspect here, and the solution including promoting renewable energy, habitat conservation, sustainable forestry, and species conservation efforts. So this has to be just done, and it is in our hand. And that's why priorly I have said in first slide or second slide like that biodiversity plays a vital role in maintaining the health and stability of environment. And the key roles of biodiversity are ecosystem services, food security, climate change, soil conservation, water cycle regulations, pest control, nutrient cycling, medicine, recreation and tourism, and cultural significance. So this was the particular points which we have to look before we just start work on this particular aspect. Then this is also in one of the case study, what we are not going to go in a very detail here, but it was in a water harvesting, a great success in Kalakutti, Jibhau, MP 2001, that for the first time in India, drought proofing rather than drought management was the focus of the state government, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So a lot of efforts has been taken by these two states, and they have just come over the scarcity of water. And the second one was that for the 2 years, the state government took up water conservation activities in the hope that monsoon this year would not be wasted even if it rained below the normal level. So this should be the strategy which has to be maintained, and then only one and only I will be just satisfied about this particular aspect. Then this village district in Madhya Pradesh spins out of the poverty cycle with the beginning of rainy season this year. 4 days of the rain filled up to the brim and long forgotten tank. Now almost the entire village is enriched by water overflowing from the tank. And if this type of a project is done by each and every village or every city or every states in India, we think that we will be in a greener environment, or what we just today say that India is a drought prone proofing area. So that we will just wash out from our heads from this particular areas if you do this type of a work. And this is not done by the government or anything like that, but the common people have come together, gathered together, discussed together, and according to that they have shown their activities regarding the water harvesting, and according to that they have done and they have succeeded in this particular area. And that's why this case study is very important to know each and every teacher, and to just give this message to each and every student of yours to just do this type of activity, which will be just conserving water and forget about the drought prone areas. सुपीक जमीन असो का नापीक जमीन असो यासाठी घाबरायची गरज नाही. Suppose if you are doing this particular strategy in your own villages, in your own urban areas, our own housing colonies also. So this is my humble request to all the teachers that you have to just see and suggest to your students, give this message to your students so that they will work. One of the student, if he is working on this, you will be credited for that. And that's why it is very important to give such type of awareness to the people or to the students of yours to just look like in the positive point of view for the water harvesting criteria. Okay. Way of success. What type of way of success it is then? Crippled by 2 consecutive droughts when a NGO, so non-governmental organization, was just here in action for social advancement, offered for renovate and tanks, and it was hard to resident for decide the contribute of 25% of the tanks renovation of 3 lakhs rupees. First of all, it was a very short or small amount which has been spent, but the thing is that they have got a big benefit from that area. And that's why this case study was a very important one, which has been, and one should know about these things. 3 meters of slate which had eroded from the surrounding hills was removed from the tank. This was used as manure in farmlands, and the tank was soon renovated. The decision paid rich dividends and to change the lives of the villagers forever. So some planning should be there. First of all, what type of a surrounding hills are there, what type of watershed management we are going to do, and how we can trap the water. This type of a strategies, if you are having, if you are working in a very technical way, I think this type of a project can be get success in your own villages, own housing colonies, own urban areas. And that's why I think it's again, I just request you all to just see that it is today's need. And that's why each and every teacher who is hearing today, who is listening this particular lecture, just give a broad publicity to just go for water harvesting so that everywhere it will be Sujilama and Saflam. Okay. According to the Nana Basna, this was a president of a lift irrigation society formed for a regulate water use in villages. there is enough water for the next 3 years, but the stored water is enough to irrigate more than 61 hectares of land. See that what a huge change they have brought into their own villages. That if a rain doesn't come, then also they have stored water is enough which to be irrigated more than 61 hectares of land. And the recharge wells will be an additional source. Now water is overflowing from the dam and residents are planning to review a defunct lift irrigation point, as a result of which 3 villages will be irrigated. So they have a lot of water availability, which they will be providing to the 3 villages for the irrigation. So this type of a particular major activity has to be done, and it is from a public participation. It is not from a government side. And that's why each and every people, every human being has to put their efforts to success this type of a project. So they will just go for the things. Don't lie on the government. Don't go on the particular discussion of government or anything like that. But government is doing their work. That is nice one. But the thing is that whenever the people gather together from the man-made activities, what we have polluted, according to that, man-made activities are going to be very much successful to do this type of a project also. So what we have polluted, so whatever we have to give to the particular social aspect, social responsibility, according to this social responsibility, we have to do these particular things so that we will go for the success of the projects. Okay. So that what I was just talking about, watershed management. So if you just have a diagram of your area where the water falls from the rain and how it flows, or where it has to be just gone and where it has to be trapped, and in a very feasible way it will get trapped. If you have that idea, your project is going to be successful. If you don't have that much idea, or you are not using a technical way towards the flow of water which is flowing after a huge rain, and the trapping of water strategies, what has to be done, then it is not success. But if you know this technical way very nicely, watershed management, what it is and how it has to be worked, what type of a climate is, what type of a flow is there, how it is going to be trapped, whether it is going to be overflow or not, what type of gravels has to be put in that area, what type of a frequency will be there to leach the water or allow that water into the groundwater. So these are the particular aspects what we have to just very much clarify all the things, and according to that we have to just do that particular thing into the projects. Then when we talk about the concept of watershed, the watershed is a geo-hydrological unit of a piece of land that drain at the common point. A watershed is defined as any spatial area from which rain or irrigation water is collected and drained through a common point. Then the watershed and drainage basins are synonymous term indicating an area surrounded by the ridge line that is drained through a single outlet. So this is the concept of watershed which we have to follow. And then if you just follow this particular concept, you will find that you are going to be success to trap the water in your own area. And these are the particular 3 points which we have to consider, which we have to keep in mind, and according to that, we have to run your project. Okay. So this is a live picture of area where you will see a nice picture here. That is a water body channel is there. Then after
Yes.
that, it is a riparian zone and upland zone is there. So when the rainwater is just coming in this area, it flows into this particular river. And when it is going to be in a riparian zone, here we can trap this water, and this water can be forcefully allowed to drain into the groundwater, leach into the water, and near about a 50 kilometers or 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers like that, they will recharge their tube wells or wells. So like that, the concept should be there. for the scarcity of water. Only huge cry on scarcity of water and drought prone zone, it will not do or it will not work. Now it is a time to work on that, and then we have to come in action mode. If you are not coming in action mode, everything will get collapsed, and the future generation, what is coming, they will just see that our past generation has not done anything about the saving of the water, and they will just give us a particular bad words for that. So that is not that should not happen, and that's why we have to aware today only itself, and we have to just protect our earth mother, so that it will be very nice for us to just run this type of project. Here see now, the watershed can be very large, draining thousands of square miles of major rivers or lakes, or very small, such as 20-acre watershed that drains to the pond. So it looks very nice in picture also. But the thing is that when it is going to be trapped, what type of a smile is on your face, it will show everything. And that's why this type of work has to be done by each and every Indian which is living in India. So that is most important here. And to make India green, our mother earth to green. And that's why this is very important. Then these are the objectives what we have to follow regarding the conservation strategies. That first point is that to control damage, runoff and degradation, and thereby conservation of soil and water. Second is to utilize the runoff water for useful purposes. Third, protect, conserve and improve the land of west watershed for more efficient and sustained production. And the protect and enhance the water resource originating in the watershed. Check soil erosion and to reduce the effect of sediment yield on the watershed. Rehabilitate the deterioration land. Moderate the flood peaks at downstream areas. Increase infiltration of rainwater. Improve and increase the production of timber, fodder and wildlife resources. Enhance the groundwater recharge wherever applicable. So all these objectives just show you that just plant more trees first of all, don't deforest it, and whatever the plants are standing in that area, they will hold the soil, and when they hold the soil, the moisture automatically comes in that area, and that moisture, whatever it is going to be held by the soil, it will be it will just go into the groundwater. And that's why the trees are very important to just in the area and it will be helpful for the watershed management. And these are the particular aspects what we have to be considered while preparing or just going for watershed in the areas. And what are the practices about that? These practices are techniques can be summarized that grassland development. You have to just go for a grassland development, gully plugs, tree plantation, contour trenching of hilltops, slopes, contour binding, water conservation structures, lift irrigation system, land leveling, etc. And most probably and most important one is that public participation and awareness. So today also we require public participation and awareness, because many of the peoples are not very serious about the environmental activities, what is happening or what type of disturbance is happening to the environment. Nobody cares about the things. And that's why we are the persons, we know the things, and according to the environmentalist or the particularly teachers, what we are having that moral responsibility towards the society. And that's why we are the peoples who can aware about the public participation and awareness of this type of a programs to run successful in your own places. And that's why this has been, I am mentioning here that, and from this, I have got one particular aspect that what is the relationship between society and environment then? So society and environmental relationship is that flora and fauna influences his economic pursuit, house types, food habit, and even dresses. Another very important aspect of the relationship between society and the environment is that the environment is under constant change, and it is these changes that influences human activities. So environment is under the constant change. Here it is these changes that influences human activities. So the constant change is there, and that's why these are the particular activities which we have to be think over the things. Okay. Have you understood, Sarji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We understood. Sir,
Yeah,
shall
yeah.
we
Pardon?
shall we take a break of 5 minutes,
Yes,
10 minutes?
we will take a break of 5 minutes. I was also asking about that only.
Okay.
We will just gather here 16:50. Okay.
Oh,
4:50, 4:50, will be present here. So we'll take a break and then we'll just start after 10 minutes.
Okay, okay, sir.
You can.
कोणी हा कम कोणी पाठवले का तुला पहिले लावले होतं त्यांनी कधी बसले नाव वही डिटेल्स मोबाईल नंबर पत्ता फोन नंबर बस किती तारीखला जॉईन करा ती हा पत्रिकेत लिहून घे
Okay, sir.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, those people are just those teachers were saying that no audible, no thing, that it means that they are not present for the lecture. I think so. So that should not happen. But the thing is that show must go on. That's all. Okay, just we'll just start with the things. So third point of our lecture on this aspect is that resettlement and rehabilitation. So here you are seeing this picture, Jal, Jungle or Zameen ye hai Janta ke houses. So when the people are just fasting or just coming together for this in Jantar Mantar and in New Delhi for the particular resettlement and rehabilitation, that time the people, as I have discussed before only, that whatever the list the government has collected before, after that some people have forcefully added some names in that particular areas, and then they are just fighting for that rehabilitation, whatever the resettlement and rehabilitation program they should get from the areas. But government also have some constraint about this aspect, and that's why this was a huge cry which has been done on these areas. Here if you see that development projects is very essential here, but for development natural resources are utilized. Most affected and locals are native peoples, poorest of poor and unprivileged people. Various types of projects leads to be displacement and locals. So these are the particular points which has to be considered, and the government is considering these particular points. But the thing is that people are not understanding, and they are forcefully putting the names which is not available, which is not present in that area, or they are not been need for rehabilitation or resettlement, anything like that. So for few benefits, they are not, they are just disobeying for the things, and that's why whoever the first sufferer of that particular project, they are underprivileged people, so-called, we just say. These peoples are good, suffered from this type of a projects, or displacement due to the dams, or displacement due to the minings, or displacement from the particular project affected fellows, formation of projected affected fellows. Here, what are the displacement due to dams here? See that Hirakund Dam, it is the biggest dam what has been, and 20,000 people in 250 villages need space for such huge projects. Local tribals and natives are affected. Families have to leave an ancestor peoples and need to settle elsewhere. Then Bhakra Nangal Dam, this is also not even half of dispatched resettlement. So this has been happened. Why this has been happened? What are the lacunas regarding this matter? We have to assess this. Then third one is Sardar Sarovar. This Sarovar project, which has been just here, it is a 41,000 families which has get displaced due to the reservoir. And Tehri Dam here, a 10,000 people of Tehri town, which has been just not get benefited. So this is the review of the World Bank, possess that average of 13,000 people are displaced by each new large dam constructed currently in 1996. By this estimate, Indian displaced by the country of 3,000 plus large dams with number of 39 millions. So this has been already displaced, that the government tells about the thing. But the thing is that whatever the list has been increased, and then after that, which has been enrolled their name into that project, it has been not get benefit. And that's why this problem has been arises about the displacement dues to dams. Then this several thousand hectares of land was covered with the mining operation. Mining accidents also caused displacement. Then these are the reasons where underground fires, no alternative provided yet, and the cost of this project is 18,000 crores rupees. So these are the particular which are the problem has been arises, and today also I think it is not solved. So if this displacement due to the creation of projected area has been happened, then what to do? That displacement also takes place where protected areas are established as compensation measures for the forest lands and natural habitats that are lost. And this is then welcome step for a natural resources conservation, but tribal losses right to their natural homes, entry in prohibited to corrode areas. And if you just see that Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, 53,472 tribal families in Kerala has been get disturbed. And I think the all has got a compensate, but the thing is that the people are also having a huge cry on the government that they have not given a sufficient amount what is required to just settle their own life in the other areas. And this is also a problem of issues and policies. What are the policies here? So right to housing of basic human rights. So human right comes again here. Then government acquires land for various reasons. Already poor tribals most affected, loss of land, food, home, jobs, property, assets, social isolation. So these are the problems which has been occurred during the rehabilitation and issues which has been just formed in that particular area. Then the cash compensation not enough. Tribals are unaware, so might be that I have just discussed before only. So these are the communal settlement does not happen. So these are the particular problems which has been arise and it will be forever. Because the thing is that the list is not having the end. And that's why these are the, going to be just having in the areas. Then this policies what we are talking about is that what type of policy has to be done. Then the Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development has formulated a national policy on resettlement and rehabilitation for project affected families. That is called PAP 2003 with the objectives of what was an objective then? That objectives was very important one and it is very that minimize displacement and to identify non-displacing and least displacing alternatives. Then plan of resettlement and rehabilitation project affected families, that is called PAFs, including special need for tribals and vulnerable sections. Provide better standards of living of PAFs, facilitate humorously. So I think this policy which has been prepared by the government, according to that, they have just done the work. But somehow that is a huge cry on this particular aspect that they have not benefited, that they have not got a project affected families and whatever the compensation they were required, it has been not given to them. So majorly where it has been gone then, that is a question mark for us. And that's why, and whatever the policy government has declared, according to that, they have just paid the amount to the fellows as the government record says. Then national policy for rehabilitation and resettlement 2007, it has been came forward. The national policy was choked out. And according to that, the rehabilitation and resettlement was done. And whatever the person was neglected or it has been run or it has been just not given, that person also have been just considered in this policy and after that they have get benefit. But then also today you will find some of the areas peoples are again having a huge cry on that we have not got this particular benefit of the PAPs, project affected families. So now this is the for rehabilitation. Now we are coming on this particular areas that is on climate change. So what are the particular what do you think human activities that affect the environment? Whether this question is a proper or not. Human activities that affects the environment. So what type of effect is there? So first of all, what we see is that climate change here. Climate change is there, global warming is there. So here, if you see about the climate change, what is that? A nice picture has been given by me here. It is a climate is the average weather of an area where the control temperature, evaporation rate, season, moisture content, condition in prevailed in 30 years. It's said to be a climate of an area. Currently, climate is changing. Yes, definitely climate is changing. Why it is changing? What is the reason? Why it should be and why it should not be? So that is the main question behind us. And that's why the question's answer is that I will give in after this particular slide. That is, after we will see the what are the problems first. So this first problem is of a climate change. Second problem is of a global warming. What is the global warming here? overall increase in temperature by the few degrees, whether it is increasing in India itself or in the world, what it is. So that also we have to just look after. Then it happens in greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, water vapors, nitrous oxide, methane, trap heat and highlights from the sun to the earth atmosphere, which increase the temperature. This hurts many people, animals and plants, cannot be take a change, so they die. So here osmoregulation is a part where we have to osmoregulate your own body with that particular temperature. Suppose I will give you an example for that. If a freshwater fish is there and if it's running very nicely in the river and it has been dumped into the ocean, so ocean has been having a saline water, and if the freshwater animal runs and dumps into the ocean, what will happen? It will not get a proper environment. And that time the fish is having a cleverity that he has or she has to just match with that particular temperature. And that temperature is nothing but what we say, it is an osmoregulation. So osmotically regulate her body or his body in that particular temperature and he can live in that area. So now the days has been coming that the global warming, we are huge crying on that particular greenhouse effect, we are crying out. So this, and we have to cry on that, we have to make a solutions. And for that, we have to acclimatize our bodies according to that particular areas, so that we will live. Otherwise, it will happen like that, the animals are going to be die and all the things are going to be happen. So this is going to be, because the thing is that the global warming, climate change, we do not have to cry on that, but we have to just go for a solutions. And the solutions in that, suppose a global warming is there, then the facts are there. What is fact? The fact is that deforestation and habitat destruction has been done. Then fossil fuel consumption and greenhouse gases emissions has been, then industrialization and air pollution has been increased. Agricultural practices and soil degradation has been done. Then water pollution and contamination has been, and overfishing and marine ecosystem depletion. These are the major aspect and the facts which has been brought us in that particular fact, that is climate change, policy, global warming, and whatnot. So these all words, new words has been came forward due to these particular points. That what has been happened is, I will again repeat it, that deforestation and habitat destruction, what has been done by man-made. Then fossil fuel consumption and greenhouse gas emission has been just released by the human being. Then industrialization and air pollution, it has been done due to, why it has been done? Due to the population increase. So first of all, the point is that the population increase is a major problem. And that's why this has to be very much important to go for. Then agricultural practices and soil degradation. So this agricultural practices and soil degradation is also a very huge one, and this has to be just looked for. Then water pollution and contamination. As you know, rashly we are handling water, you are utilizing water, all the spiritual activities we just throw into the water only. And that's why this type of organic and inorganic matter, what we are going to be just deposited into the rivers, it comes back and we say that is an water pollution. Recently, we have just dumped the idols into the water. So what happens if you dump these idols into the water? After that, nobody want to think upon it. So that we say the standard word for that, the water pollution in the river. But throwing an idol is a spiritual one, what we think. So it should be stopped. Anyhow, it should be stopped. That is my humble request to you all. Then the overfishing and marine ecosystem depletion. So this is also done by the human activities only. And that's why these facts are very much important when we talk about the global warming and the climate change and this whatnot. So these are the particular aspects. Again, this climate change evidences are there, intergovernmental panels and climate change. These are the panels. Why this is necessary to build up this intergovernmental panels and climate change, publish evidence and climate change. This report has been just shown in 2007. So these are the particular points what has been arise due to the problems which we have created. If you not create problems will not arise. So that's why this has to be just saying then one question in my mind was that why should India be a concern about a climate change? Why only India be concerned about a climate change? So mainly, I have some of these particular points that India is a home of a third of the world's poorest, and climate change will hit this section of society at the hardest. Why it has been happened? Because we are not aware about anything about a climate change. And as we are a poor world's country, we think so, but we are not today. But whatever we have think so, though we are not having the basic amenities to just overcome this problem. And that's why we think that India is a home of the third of the world's poor, and climate change will be hit this section of the society and hardest. Said to be the most populous nation in the world by 2045. Now we are in a third position, and in 2045, we will be in the first position, we think so. As the scientist has predicted, according to that, the economy, social and ecological crisis and climate change will be massive one. Then three main categories of impact, and those of agriculture, sea level rising leading to submergence of coastal areas, as well as increased frequency of extreme events. Each of these pose serious threats to India. So these are the serious matter what I am just putting before you in this particular refresher course lecture. Then if you see this, I have just taken pictures from the area. It is only for the curiosity who doesn't want to just hear the English in a constant way. Only by seeing this picture, you can understand what is the global warming and how it is going to be affecting to the areas, or what is the relation between society and the environment. This flora and fauna influence this economic pursuit, house type, food habit, and even traces. Another very important aspect of the relationship between society and the environment is that the environment is under constant change, and it is these changes that influences human activities, where you will find this global warming and climate change. Human activities have made global warming and climate change a global threat. It is not for a concern with the Indian subcontinent, but it is of a global threat. Everywhere it is like that. Then second point is of water pollution and ocean acidification. So it is a very serious problem here again. The water pollution is there, huge type of a water pollution, and the ocean acidification. And the third one is a loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity, you have seen the single species are living in the area. According to that, each and every area you will find not a hotspots of biodiversity, but the loss of biodiversity is going to be. And that's why this problem has been arise, what we can see in the live, these pictures here, what I have displayed here. Then what are the greenhouse effect? Again, I have just told about this thing, so no need to go for this particular explanation. So I will just move forward. Here it is it is on a chemistry, but we have to just think in a very well way, and then the surface, atmosphere, space, and Earth's greenhouse effect, how it has going to be happen. So this I think as a teacher, you must be knowing about this aspect. So we are not going in a detail in this particular. And what are the effects? So already effects I have discussed. But then also some effects they have given, that hydrological cycle will intensify, sea level rise, submergence of areas. Then case of flood, drought, cyclones, or the rises. So these are the problems. These are the predictions has been done by the experts in the areas. Whether this is going to be happen, if this type of a continued activity is going to be into the world, then definitely it will happen. Ocean will everywhere, the ocean will be there, and all the housing jungles or cement jungles will be under the water. It will be submerged. And so this is the days are going to come that we have to see this type of a picture in Indian subcontinent also. So global warming is a dangerous affecting many parts of the world, and we are also going to be suffer from this particular. Why? Because the sea rise, and when the sea rises, the water covers many lowland islands. This is a big problem of many of the plants, animals, and people of islands. And that's why this is very serious problem, what we have discussed today. Then the water covers the plants and causes some of the to die. When they die, the animal lose the source of food along with their habitat. And when the plants and animals die, people lose two sources of food, that is plant food and animal food. And without plant food and animal food, we cannot live. That we know everyone. And that's why this is very much important for us. And if we don't get this type of a food, then what will happen? Man will kill to man, man will eat to man. So that is going to be upon, and that days are going to become. One story also I have just now remember on this particular sentence, that one sea boat was there, and in that boat many peoples were there. And what happened? Whatever they have taken a food that was finished into that sea boat. And after that, what happened? They doesn't have anything to eat. And that time what they do, they have just killed one another and they have eat their own flesh. And lastly, one of the lady was there live, and she was from Australia. It is a true story. And she has told this story that everybody has to survive in the boat, and that's why they were killing two other fellow. And they have died. And after that, one of the lady has been just come out from that particular ship, and then she had told this type of story. So this same story, which will be happening if you don't have a food that is of plant or of animal. So chain reaction, one thing happened that leads to the another, and so on. This will be then a serious matter or serious aspect onto the globe or into the world.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Sir, this is a landmark case happened in England. So I'm from the law background. So
Yeah.
there is a doctrine called necessity knows no loss.
Yeah.
Based on this, that the guy who killed a small kid, they said that we killed to eat his meat so that we survived. We survived because by eating his flesh and blood.
Yeah.
The principle is that necessity knows no loss.
Yeah.
So the incident you referred is actually a landmark case that happened in a foreign country, sir.
Yes. That was
Thank you,
that,
sir.
but
Thank
I
you.
was not remembering the true story behind that. But the thing is that the days are going to come that we are also going to do same thing. So that is the picture. So that I want to just reflect on that particular aspect. That what is going to be happen if you don't have a plant food or animal food to get it, then what will be the human being will do? So same thing, what has been happening to that particular area, it has to be just the history is going to be come with a forcefully impact again to the human body. So that was the thing. So nicely, sir, what you have understood or what you have just suggested. Very nice to hear about these things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So we don't have a lot of time because 5:30 I have to finish it. So according to that, I will just go fast here a little bit. So this is the situation what I have just told you before only, that the sea ice caps are going to be like that. See that only one of that particular animal has been just saving his or her life on that particular ice, or whatever the turtles or the fishes are there. What they says, good news. At the current rate of global warming, we should be able to just swim over 3 and eat him in under 5 years. See that, how it is, no? It is very imaginary picture, and say the same cement jungle have been just submerged under the water. So very interesting one, no? So these all pictures are talking pictures, and it is what you call as the forthcoming years, it will the picture which has to be, we have to see. Whether we will be there or not, we don't know. But the thing is that it has to become, and India or a globe is going to be underwater. So due to this water, climate change and global warming, like that it is. Okay. So solutions is, what is the solution? The solution for this is the renewable energy, biofuel, afforestation. As we have discussed before, only afforestation has to be done. Reduce of current of CFCs. So only saying that reduce the current rates and all the things, it will not work. But the thing is that we have to just trap the methane for fuel and potential of algae in carbon dioxide utilization, sustainable agriculture. So more research is required on these particular solutions now. Now we don't have to go for the toxicity level study and all the things, but we have to just go for this type of a PhD student study also, and real study. If you come out with this, some type of a solution we are going to get from the, definitely we are going to get from this. And whatever picture I have shown in before slide, so that should not be the real picture which will come after some period, or some 100 years or 200 years, like that it will be taking. But the thing is that it should not come. If you have some ideas regarding the renewable energy, biofuel, what type of a particular progression or what type of a research we are going to do, according to that it will come. So this is the factor what we have to just see. So these are the solutions what we have to just look after the things. And after that, if you see this acid rain, it is on a principle what is in base. So we are not going to discuss on this. This is on a common aspect what we have to do. This is an acid rain. What is the pH, acidic and alkaline and all the things. Then this is an ozone layer depletion. So this is also another problem which has been arises. And after that, alkanes and propanes, these were the two chemicals which we have injected in this particular area, and somehow the ozone layer depletion or whatever the hole has been just prepared, that to just trap it, stitch it, we have just put it alkenes and propanes. So this was the two chemicals, and after that we have found that the hole has been disappeared. So this type of a techniques or this type of a research has to came forward, so that we will helpful to just save our Mother Earth from the particular calamities which is going to be occur or which is going to become. This is a production of emission of CFC chlorophyll. Here one thing is interesting is that in 1984 ozone layer hole was discovered by the Antarctica, and increase in risk of skin cancer and loss of phytoplankton. They are sensitive to UV, but the fair people at high risk. And then the monitoring protocol which has been came regarding this CFCs, that phase out the use of CFC, what type of a use and how it has to be used. And that's why it is very important to know about this particular aspect. And if you have ability to work on this particular area for research, it will be very nice, and it will be appreciated by the government also, and it will be sanctioned lot of project on these particular areas, because it is a burning issues which has to be incorporated, and we have to just have some research on it, and result oriented projects are there. May the people will not accept this particularly, whatever the results you will occur from the project, it will not accepted very commonly by the peoples. But after proving the theories and the principles of that, it will be done. So that's why don't worry about the results. So results may be vary, but you may be clever for that. So that's why you have to just try on your best, and then if you are getting a good results, you just show with a theory and all the things, so that you will might be you will get an award for that. So that's why it is very important to go for these particular projects. Then environmental legislation. The shortly today also we have just the next whatever the resource person was that they have declared, they have discussed about the legislation. But shortly we have to just go for this, because unless and until you know the legislation and all the things, you are not going to tackle the problems of environmental, global warming, climate change, and all the things. In that, what I have discussed before, only after the Stockholm Conference in 1972, many laws and regulations have been made, and Article 48A, this was in Factories Act 1947. So Factories Act 1947 has given only one article, in that it was in a 48A and 51AG. So what they have stated, that state shall endure the protect and improve the environment and the safeguard forest and wildlife of the country. So on this particular article 48A, we have first law in Indian subcontinent after a freedom, after independence, that was an Wildlife Act 1972. And an article 51 AG. This was an article which shall be a duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. See that this article 51 AG, and then also today also we are not knowing about this particular having. So this is quite serious about the Indian subcontinent, that we have a rules, we have a regulations, we have a articles on that, but then also the common peoples are not knowing about these particular articles, and that's why the awareness programs are very essential. That what we think about these things, and I was mentioning this. What are the legislation? So legislation, it will take another 2 to 4 hours to just elaborate each and every act, but just I will just go for particular word. That is, first act was in 1972. That was a Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Then Water Prevention Control of Pollution Act 1974. Then the third law regarding environment, it was in a Forest Conservation Act 1980. Then Air Prevention Control Pollution Act 1981. Then the Environmental Protection Act 1986. Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rule 1998. Municipal Solid Waste Management Handling Rule 2000. Noise Pollution Regulation Rules 2002, and Biological Diversity Act 2002. So these all, whatever the incidents has been happening in India, according to that, we have prepared our laws. So unless and until something has been happened in Indian subcontinent, no law has been prepared. That is the only fact. And that's why whatever the incidents has been happening in Bhopal grass tragedy, after that we have got this Air Prevention and Control Act for 1981. So these are the particular aspect what we have to consider, and the common man should know this particular aspect. Otherwise, it is very difficult to just go for this thinking of the act and all the things. The act people will look after the things, or only the advocate peoples will look after the things. It is not like that. It is a major responsibility for each and every Indian citizen to look after this particular acts. Okay, have you understood, Sirji? Then the thing is that for environmental ethics, what is environmental ethics here? In last slide, we'll just see that ethical behavior is of utmost importance. Then we believe and think man is all powerful and supreme creature of the earth. But the thing is that nature has provided us with a resource and she nourishes us like our mother. So we should respect a nature here. Live sustainably, to use anthropogenic and ecocentric. Earth ethics on environmental guidelines helps to protect our Mother Earth. Do nots and do's, that is having fewer wants, limit to growth, and good environment. So this is an environmental ethics what we have to maintain, and according to that we have to live our life in this world and in India. So it will be a very good aspect according to the environmental view. And I think I have done with this, but the thing is that a lot of questions will be in your mind regarding the role of society in environment. So I have shown you the real picture of an environment in this 2.5 or 3 hours, like that. What is the real scenario of an Indian subcontinent or into the world, and how we have to tackle the problems. Unless and until each and everyone involved in this activity, we are not going to solve this problem. And when we will come together, God knows. God knows means what? Here, God, I have given one abbreviation to you, that God is nothing but a God means G is for a generator who generates the things. O is the operator who operates the things. And D is a destroyer who can destroy the things. So this is the nature, and for nature we should have a respect, and if we are going to give a respect, then the recklessness from the earth, Mother Earth, will be not there. But if you just do these particular things, the recklessness is going to become, and one time it will come that everything will get disturbed. or destroyed. So that's why generate, operate, and destroy. Remember these three words in your life. And I end with this particular session here. If you have any questions regarding this matter, please ask me so that I will just give you answers within 10 minutes. So we will finish it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir ji.
थैंक यू सर, बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन रहा।
सेशन तो अच्छा है, लेकिन इसमें क्या है, सेशन कैसा रहता है कि वन वे ट्रैफिक नहीं चलना चाहिए। अगर इसमें से आपने मुझे क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा तो इसका मतलब आपको बहुत कुछ समझ में आया या फिर आपको कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया। ये दो चीजें हो सकती है ना। तो आप कुछ क्वेश्चन
बराबर।
पूछते हो तो मुझे भी लगेगा कि इनको कुछ पता हो गया। अगर नहीं पूछते हो तो इसका मतलब आपको पूरा ही समझ में आया और मेरे को बहुत अच्छा बोलने आया। ऐसा है वो, है ना। दोनों ही
Sir,
बातें।
what is meaning of Holocaust?
यस,
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Sir, you ask question. Thorat sir is listening to you, I think.
Sir, what is meaning of Holocaust?
हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, sir.
Some disturbance is there.
Sir, what is meaning of Holocaust?
So, okay. The Holocaust is also known as a Shoah. Shoah is the whole kind of during a world war which has been happened. And the 11th World War Second, it was on a million of Jews, Romani peoples was been just get killed. So in the fact of that, 6 million Jews was killed in European Jewry, and that's why it is called as a Holocaust. When the Second World War was been happened and all the things was been destroyed, and the important dates were there in 1933, Hitler's rise to power there that time, and that time it has been happened, and that's why the examples has been given for the Holocaust here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Hello, any questions from your side, or we can finish it? Have any questions for this? Or shall we close down?
No question, sir.
Okay. Then,
Vote of thanks.
then
वोट ऑफ थैंक्स करो। किसी को क्वेश्चन पूछना है, किसी को सवाल पूछना है?
नहीं, वोट ऑफ थैंक्स चालू कीजिए सर आप।
हाँ,
क्वेश्चन खत्म हो गए।
आपके सबके सम्मति से मैं वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के लिए खड़ा हूँ। ऑनलाइन क्या सर? हाँ, ऑनलाइन रिफ्रेशर कोर्स इन इन्वायरमेंटल स्टडी एंड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, जो कि डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर मराठवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी यूजीसी मालवीय मिशन टीचर ट्रेनिंग सेंटर छत्रपति संभाजीनगर, इनके यूजीसी मालवीय मिशन टीचर ट्रेनिंग सेंटर संभाजीनगर के संचालक आदरणीय प्रोफेसर सतीश पाटिल सर, हमारे कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर पाठ्यक्रम समन्वयक आदरणीय प्रोफेसर एन बंदेला सर, सहायक संचालक डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अब्दुल राफे सर, और आज के इस सत्र के दोपहर के सत्र के सम्माननीय संसाधन व्यक्ति आदरणीय प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर थोरात सर, डिपार्टमेंट इन्वायरमेंटल साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी, स्कूल ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल एंड अर्थ साइंस, नॉर्थ महाराष्ट्र यूनिवर्सिटी जलगांव महाराष्ट्र। इसी के साथ और सभी उपस्थित सभी सम्माननीय जनों, आज के इस विशेष अवसर पर मैं आप सभी को धन्यवाद देने के लिए यहाँ उपस्थित हूँ। सबसे पहले मैं अपने आदरणीय संचालक प्रोफेसर सतीश पाटिल सर का धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि जिन्होंने मुझे इस कार्यक्रम में सफलतापूर्वक आयोजन करने का मार्गदर्शन किया, और उनके नेतृत्व और प्रेरणा से ही आज का कार्यक्रम सफल हुआ है। सम्माननीय संसाधन व्यक्ति डॉक्टर थोरात सर, मैं आपका हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि आपने बहुमूल्य समय निकालकर हमें समय दिया और हमारे पाठ्यक्रम का स्तर बढ़ाया। आपके विचार और मार्गदर्शन से हमारे लिए सदैव प्रेरणादायी रहेंगे। सर ने जो आज विषय लिया है, जो इंग्लिश में रोल ऑफ सोसाइटी इन इन्वायरमेंटल इशू, जो हिंदी में कहा जा सकता है कि पर्यावरणीय मुद्दों में समाज की भूमिका क्या है, इन्होंने सबसे पहले जो भारतीय मूल है किसी भी समाज का, जो अपने जो गॉड है, गॉड का उन्होंने लॉन्ग फॉर्म बताया, जिसे मराठी में हिंदी में ईश्वर कहा जाता है, उसका उन्होंने फुल फॉर्म बताया है कि उसका असली मतलब क्या है। उसके बाद उन्होंने सिर्फ आर्थिक विकास ही विकास नहीं होता है, इसके साथ जो शाश्वत विकास होता है उसमें इन्वायरमेंट का क्या महत्व है वो बताया है। ऐसे बहुत सारे मुद्दों पर उन्होंने अपने बहुत अमूल्य विचार रखे हैं, जिसमें अंडरस्टैंडेबल टू सस्टेनेबल, शाश्वत विकास क्या है वो कैसे समझा जा सकता है, उसके बाद में फूड सिक्योरिटी क्या है, बायोडायवर्सिटी के सभी आयाम उन्होंने रखे हैं, वाटर साइकिल और साइकिल रेगुलेशन क्या है वो उसके बारे में सभी अंग रखे हैं। उसके बाद उन्होंने सर ने जो की ऑफ एस्पेक्ट ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट वो बताया, उसके इंट्रा और इंटर और इंट्रा जनरलिटी इक्विटी के बारे में बताया है। उसके साथ उन्होंने मेजर फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के 3R भी बताए। इसके साथ उन्होंने दोपहर के सत्र में सर ने बहुत ही सादी भाषा में जो भी देश के विकास प्रोजेक्ट लगते हैं वो देश के लिए उपयुक्त तो होते हैं, लेकिन उसी के साथ जो लोग पुनर्वसन होता है और पर्यावरण का भी पुनर्वसन होना चाहिए, इसी से ही शाश्वत विकास के और आगे हम जा सकते हैं। सर ने पहले सत्र में और दूसरे सत्र में भी ग्लोबल वार्मिंग का सविस्तर बात रखी है, उसी के साथ ग्लोबल वार्मिंग और भारत का सिनेरियो क्या है वो भी रखा है। पर्यावरण के जो कानून है उनके बारे में सर ने सविस्तर बात की है, और ये कानून बहुत है लेकिन इसके अलावा हर भारतीय की जिम्मेदारी क्या है वो भी सर ने बताइए। और लास्ट में सर ने ये बताया पर्यावरण के बारे में हमारे कुछ इथिक्स है, उसकी भी जानकारी सर ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से रखी है। इसी के साथ मैं हमारे पाठ्यक्रम कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर प्रोफेसर बंदेला सर का विशेष धन्यवाद देता हूं, जिन्होंने अपने अनमोल सुझाव और हमें मार्गदर्शन किया है और हमें नई राह इन्वायरमेंटल स्टडी के बारे में दिखाई है। इसके साथ इस पाठ्यक्रम के समन्वय कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर प्रोफेसर अब्दुल राफेज सर, जिन्होंने हमें यह अवसर प्रदान कर दिया है, और इन्हीं के साथ इनकी जो पूरी टीम है, जो कि अमोल सर, गौरव सर, हमें ये दोनों परिचित है। इसके अलावा जो प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष इस रिफ्रेशर कोर्स का आयोजन में लगे हुए और ये कार्यक्रम सफल बनाने के लिए मेहनत कर रहे, मैं उन सभी को और जिन के वजह से ये कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया गया है, जो आप सब पाठ्यक्रमी, मैं उस सभी का धन्यवाद करता हूँ। और डायरेक्टर साहब, को डायरेक्टर साहब और कोर्स कोऑर्डिनेटर सर, इनकी सभी के ओर से यहाँ यह कार्यक्रम, ये सेशन खत्म होता है, ऐसा जाहिर करता हूँ। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सर। चांगलाच आढावा बैठक घेतली त्याने.
सेशन समाप्त झालाय सर.
ओके सर, लिव मीटिंग.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
सर, यस
गौरव
सर.
सर. हेलो गौरव सर. हेलो. हेलो.
आता काय ह्या टायमाला घरीच असणार. हा, बोला ना. कशाचं? हो हो, झालं ना तुमचं ऑनलाईन. ते स्वयं बरं बरं, द्या ना द्या ना. बोला ना डॉक्टर. हा पण ते आपल्याला तिथं ऑफिसला आपण दिलेलं आहे ना ते वर्कफोर्स ते वैभवला हे करावं लागत. वैभवला मागच्या वेळेसच सांगितलं आपण त्यांना ते सगळं दिलेलं आहे. बरेच दिवस झाले त्याला झाले 2-2.5 वर्ष. झाले तेव्हा.
कोणतं दाखवाय